Did I forget anything? Nope. Okay. So this is, today we're talking about batiks. So the story goes that in 2012, my husband and I purchased Petite Panels from Trish and Owen Hodge. They had been in Indonesia teaching for about 10 years. They came back from Indonesia to the U.S. They had a quilting background, Trish did, and so she brought textiles from Indonesia, and they traveled and did lectures and sold at shows. They wanted to retire, so we purchased the business from them and started with them for 2012. We decided we were going to go forward in January 2011. In January 2012, we were in Indonesia, something around that time. So I have been lucky enough to be able to travel, so this was not my first time doing international traveling, but I really didn't know anything about Indonesia. I had no idea that the textiles and what they produced, that they have a commercial entity that's culturally important to them, that they export around the world. So if you've been in a quilt store, so to speak, or even some stores that specialize in garment fabrics, you will see fabrics that have a larger pattern, so to speak, and yardage is created with what's called a chop. So chops are copper on the front, steel on the back, no welding. They are all fit in here by cut little pieces of copper. And then it does have resin on it that holds it, and the handle is a pressure handle. So it fits right in between here and here. So this is usually wrapped with cotton, and you're sitting and you have hot wax, which is a batik wax unique to the family that's creating the batik, and you're stamping, and it's going on the fabric, stamping fabric, stamping fabric. So as you know, if you've ever walked into a quilt store, there's lots and lots of yardage of batiks, and they authentic batik. I personally think the best batik in the world comes from Indonesia, and they have usually that's a man's job because the chop is much bigger than this, and they are stamping all day long. They have a little section that's maybe a meter around, so 40 inches, 44 inches wide, a meter long, and they stamp. There's no registration marks, there's no lining up. They all do it by eye and create this beautiful yardage. Now, the other thing that they do with yardage is they also work with discharge. So what that means is they're removing the color and creating another pattern with another. So some of these fabrics that you're seeing in the store are multiple layers of work, and they're all in these 10-yard, 15-yard lengths of fabric. So that's, I think, a miraculous feat to myself. And it's all done by hand. There aren't machines standing there with those chops. There are people standing there with those chops. It's usually an open air factory. In Indonesia, it does rain, like seriously rain cats and dogs in monsoon times, like a lot of the Southeast Asia area. But most of things are done with, covers. So you have a roof, but the front of the building might be open. And that's the other thing that's helpful for that. So culturally, they really, let me back up a minute. I haven't had enough coffee yet today. Historically, Indonesians created fabric that were 2.5 yards by 40 inches long, which are called sarongs. So for export and what they call U.S. fabrics, don't you want U.S. batiks, is all of this yardage that occurred. Now, I heard a rumor at one point in time, or read somewhere, that Hoffman was in Bali in the 1960s because the original creators of that business were surfers, and that's where you wanted you surfed in Bali. And so they found some of that fabric. Now, whether that transitioned into creating Hoffman fabrics, I'm not sure. I do know that Robert Kaufman is also in Indonesia, and that's where all their fabrics come from. And
as Lund Studios.
Well, they produce their fabric and it's distributed by Robert Kaufman. And what's notable about that is both of those artists support the culture in Indonesia. So when you're buying that fabric, that brand, you are helping build libraries in Indonesia. And that is their culture. They go and live for several months at a time over there. They have family that have taken them in and really have helped the workers in the batik factories. So, I mean, I did go to the library that they created. We have libraries all over the place. Whether they're close or far from you doesn't matter, but we have them everywhere in the United States. They don't have libraries there. This is a funded event by the Lund family and other people that help them. So it's really pretty unique. Now, when I talk about heritage, you're talking about a sarong, and this is, as I said, 40 inches wide and about 2.5 inches long. So this is made by hand. It's called tulis, and it was done with a chanting tool. And tulis means batik writing. So you would think you're writing. Now this, even though it looks like a very, very simple tool, it is very difficult to use. I've actually tried. So you can see the spouts are different sizes. That determines how large a line you're going to get. This is bamboo. They make them in copper or they make them in brass. The importance of copper is that it helps keep the wax melted and hot so that it penetrates the fabric. So that's one of the things that they do. So they sit there and they do dots. So I have a lecture that I can present to guilds. I can do it on Zoom, but also there's a pot of wax and it has a propane tank underneath it. It's a specially mixed wax, so everybody has their secret recipes for this, but it does involve resin. So if resin gets too hot, it burns and that becomes toxic, so they do have to worry about that. So they're scooping into the wax, they have a piece of cloth, they're dabbing, blowing, and then working. It's quite a little dance to see. And it's very interesting, and for me it was very difficult. So needless to say, I'm buying batiks. So these are what was done for centuries, was this handcrafted. The sarongs were determined when someone was born, someone got married, someone died, who the chief was, who the prince was. They had royalty. They have royalty in Indonesia. They have medicine women, medicine man. All of these sarongs they were worn for special occasions, they were worn for every day, but they were kind of a story, I think, that they told, and a credibility, and discussed who the person's job was and how important they were to the village. And that was all determined by the pattern and the colors that were used in the sarong. So this is a quite stunning one. This is actually on our website, and some of the other ones I'm going to show you are on what we call our comment sold store. So if you go to the app, oops, I don't have those pages. Where are those pages? If you go to your app store on your Android or Apple, you're going to look for, search for artistic artifacts. So this is artistic artifacts, and it is a app developed by Comment Sold, and it allows us to really do some live sales, and we come to you if you've not participated in one. We try to hold them 1 or 2 times a month. What that allows us to do is bring some of this unique product to you and make it a very easy situation to purchase. And then we will change it up, we'll leave some in, we'll have a sale. And normally the first night, so Thursday we had a live sale, it starts at 7. We'll give you a 15% discount on all of the items that were available to purchase for that night's viewing, show, whatever. So, and normally that ends on 24 hours. So what we've done, because we were still talking about boutiques today, is that we have extended that 15% off if you purchase on the Artistic Artifacts app only. So again, go onto your app store, search Artistic Artifacts, download the app, and it's going to give you inventory, pictures, prices. It will show the sale price versus the regular price. That will be extended for 24 more hours because we're still talking about boutiques. So we wanted to give you an opportunity for those of you who did not know about the comments sold, that you could do that today after talking about it and still have access to the discount. And we have so much product that all came in at the same time, is that we are going to be adding things to our website over time. So please make sure you get our newsletter. If you're interested in these types of textiles, the newsletter is going to tell you where they are, when they're up, what's available at what time, because it's going to take us a couple of weeks to get all of this product up. So let me just keep talking about sarongs for a moment. Let's see. This is a sarong that is old as well. I'm not sure if this is with a chop or whether it's with a chanting. I don't have the documentation on it. The one below it, as you can see, is a totally different colorway. These are new. We've had these produced, but they still produce them the same way. They use a chanting tool. It's spread out, usually on a big frame, and it's all done by hand with the wax. And then the paint, the dye is painted on as well. So these are sarongs. They are on our website. So let's see if I can show you these side by side. So this is a sarong, and this was made in a different place from this. So most of the sarongs and textiles that I get are from Java, not Bali. And Java has a north coast, and that's where a lot of this color comes from. So this is a toolless. So that was used with the hand tool.
Lots of comments.
It's absolutely gorgeous. This is chop work. So this was done, so here we have this one done with this, and this one done with this type of tool. And there's a totally different look, both by hand, but totally different. This is a lot of work. It takes a lot of, the best batikers there are, and you can see that the North Coast Pekalungan is going to give you a little bit more color, whereas Solo is going to be more of these natural colors, these browns and indigos. I think the brown is from a bark. And then those of us who have been to any kind of beach resort or anything, this is a printed one. So this is printed. It's usually on cotton, sometimes can be on rayon. And, a lot of them, they'll sell these with bathing suits or in sarongs. But the sarongs, I've worn them all the time as a teenager when I was in bathing suits and stuff. But you can tell the difference in the techniques and in the details. Now, I do have an antique dealer in Indonesia who came across an amazing collection of vintage, I think 1930s collection of sarongs, and they are on comments sold. And then we have these scarves that we had a number of scarves come too. And that's kind of a really easy way, if you don't want to bite the bullet for a sarong, you can get these scarves. Did these get in comments sold, Kyle?
Some of them are up there now. Some will be up by next week.
Yeah. So these are beautiful. Then this one, these are silk. Those I know are not up yet.
They're not.
So these are, when we get them up, it's like I have one in pink, I have one in rust, I have one in purple, and one, so you can see some crossover between the Japanese technique of tying knots and working with dyes as well. This is a book that I received, and it's actually a wonderful book to read, and you can find it on the, I think it's out of print. So out of print market, you can usually find it online. Abe's Books would be able to do that. Now, when we talk about Petite Panels, which in my book that I wrote, I talk about how to work with them and what to do with them, because some people will buy these pieces of fabric and they're absolutely wonderful and very addictive, but it's like, okay, well, what do I do with it? It's a block. It's a block. It's a piece of fabric. It's a very special piece of fabric, so you use it in creating a special quilt. I've seen things where people have cut stuff apart. Chris, who's with us today, is master of cutting, and she, you can use this as a centerpiece. I tend to use them in the middle of my quilts. So, and I border them with some special fabric or some blocks that I like to make. So that's, a lot of times I treat it as a hanging. In my book, we also have a full-size quilt that is a Roosley quilt. It's on the back. So it's this one here, and we have received panels so we can make this kit again. And the kit is on comments sold, and we have a limited number of those, but it is available. It gives you the items to make this type of quilt with the Roosley panels.
Didn't the new Roosley have new colors?
Very bright colors, very bright colors. So these are the ones that are in the kit that I just showed you. So Roosley's kind of Miro Kandinsky-like, and they have this border with these very bold. So we put the kit together with 12 panels, some Aboriginal fabrics, and some Indonesian fabrics.
We have a few new people to our comments sold schedule.
Okay.
Can you tell us the difference between the products that are on our website and on the comments sold app?
Okay, that's a great question. So, comments sold really came into being here because during the pandemic, we were doing Facebook Lives where we would show an item on a Facebook Live and put it up for sale, and it would have a number. Well, that part was the easy part. The hard part was invoicing, shipping, getting it back, getting it to you. So we created, and it's usually things that are special to us. We have treasure boxes. Those are things that we've created and assembled. I've curated them. There's some mixed media ones. There's some thread ones. Not things that we generally will sell in the store. If we have some left, they sometimes make it to the store, but not very often. So the comments sold became a situation where I can sell you one scarf. I can sell you one cantha. So it became that limited edition opportunity to purchase. Whereas our website, there's much more involved with posting an item on a website than it is on posting an item on comments sold. On the website, you've got where does it fit in the navigation? What's the SEO? What are all the taglines? Trust me, it's much more. So we try to save those situations because we have so much product coming in all the time for things where we have multiples of. So for us, that's really the difference. You can shop comments sold all the time. You can combine orders from the website and comments sold to get to your $75 worth of free shipping. So it just has become a track for different types of product that
It's usually the one-offs,
It's usually very limited edition ones. Like I'm showing you some panels, and you will find some Batik panels on comments sold. Well, they will eventually, as we catch up over the weeks, we'll move them to the website, and that's where they'll be. But when you get a panel, so this is a perfect example. So this is a new panel. It is not on the website or comments sold just yet. This is just to tease you to keep in touch with us. We might order 12 of these, and all 12 could be different. or we could have 6 similar, and the other 6 are similar. Like we bought horses. We have horses. Well, we have 2 panels that have absolutely beautiful golden yellow horses out of 12. So, I mean, we can't dictate to the artist what we want. We can just say we want horses, we want fish. So when they come in, we have to look at them and sort them the way they do it. So it's a little tricky. This business is a little tricky. It's amazing where we have a room full of absolutely gorgeous colored dyed panels. But that is a great question, and that's my answer, and I'm sticking with it.
We had a question earlier on Instagram, and it was about the Fit for Art patterns, and they are available on the website under notions and clothing patterns.
Yes. Yeah, great question. Okay, do we have any other questions so far? Okay.
So go to Comment Sold. It's 15% off.
Yes, an introductory offer to get you to shop with us on Comment Sold, because and if they're showing inventory, even if it's from past shows, there might be some inventory left. You can purchase them. You just might. It's not subject to the 15% off. We run the discount coupon on the stuff that we are presenting to you on that Thursday evening. And we've never extended the coupon before. And it's really not a coupon, it's a discount. It's in there. You don't have to do a coupon code. You don't have to do anything. It's going to load it into your cart, and it's going to reflect the discounted prices. So, do you want to show them a little bit?
This one is on Comment Sold.
This one is on Comment Sold. So this is Tatang. He is a gentleman outside of Solo, so he's working with beautiful browns and indigos, and all of these are hand done with chanting tools. We have 3 mountain scenes, we have 3 elephants, and we have 3 sea life that are all this incredible amount of detail. And then the Harry we have some mermaids, some dragons. I think the dragon is on Comment Sold. And then this is Bam Bam. We have lots of fish. Fish are generally a topic. These are birds. This is Tatang. This is the same gentleman that did this, created these guys. Some Roosli. Look, so we have a wide variety. At any point in time, there might be 8 to 10 artists represented on our website. So,
And a couple of them
are new, and a couple of them have passed.
One retired.
So this product, so to speak, was invented or created, I think, in the 1960s. I think Indonesia achieved independence in 1954, 55, and then they created a commerce. They built up a business that was based around batik for them to generate. So it was really quite interesting. And of course, lots of threads. We do have some threads on Comment Sold that are subject to the discount, hand and machine. So please take a look at that and shop, and we will ship your order. And remember, you can combine. If you could just send us an email, it's always helpful. So sales@artisticartifacts.com is how you reach us.
Terry, right now, most of the items that Judy's shown, you can find on our Artistic Artifacts app.
Yes.
It's where we have some Comments Sold. You're on Instagram, so actually the link is in our profile to download the app.
Okay, great. All right.
And then to Gwendolyn, the Comment Sold is an app. It's not a Facebook page.
No.
You just search Artistic Artifacts app, and that's how you get to it.
So you can download it on your phone or on your tablet. So most people, when we're live, we are live on Facebook, and you can purchase that way. But the app lets you go back and be able to look at the app and the video and buy on the app. So it's a little bit easier to do that. So it's easy to do.
And to Tara, we do have many, many, many more panels in the store. And
Yes.
going forward, these will appear in the store as well.
Yeah, we have many artists that we didn't even show you. So, and they're available in the store, and they are on the website. So we do have that there. These will take us a little while to get up and running on those. So shakes the head of the man who had to take all the pictures.
And the person who does all the inputs behind the curtain. So
Yeah, so bear with us and watch for that. Also, we'd love to have you come join us for CAFE. We have lots of people from coming out of town. We're looking for a great party weekend, and look forward to that. Please be on our newsletter list. We are showing you product. We are giving you information. We are telling you about this community that we have that is great. And we want you to be part of that. Did we have more questions, Kyle?
No, but Jen and I accept bottles of wine to help you speed the process up.
Speed the process up. Oh, there are bribes available.
shots.
Shots. Yeah. I thought it was tequila shots, but then we won't get much work done.
After work.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for being part of our community. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you for joining us on Instagram. This was our first time. I think we will try to do more of that. So that will be absolutely awesome. Thank you. ArtisticArtifacts.com. Shop often.